Hello everyone, welcome back to another important video. As some of the viewers have been requesting to do a tutorial video on procedural breathing animation, so here it is. Today I'm going to show you how you can make this animation using scripts in Unity. And without wasting much time, as always, let's get started. Let's get to the part where we will see first the setup, and in the next part we will see how the code works and its mathematical reasons, how this thing is occurring, using what systems we are doing. So let's get started. At the very first, we have our hierarchy here. The hierarchy will contain our main camera. Inside that, it will contain an empty game object name holder, which will basically contain our breathing animation script, and that holder will contain our gun game object, as you can see here. So the breathing script will mainly contain two curves here. As you can see, it's fully editable and it's loopable, and the amplitude will just control the amount of up and down motion of our breathing. The time elapsed is just the calculator for the amount of time elapsed in the Unity time frame system. Frequency is the rate at which it will go up and down. Rotational amplitude is the amplitude or the amount of rotational it will have once the weapon goes up and down. The phase shift will tell us the change in angle, or basically it's just the shift in angle, which I will teach you in further video. Horizontal amplitude is the left and right amplitude, which is very minute here as I put the values very low here. And the multiplier is just, it will multiply with the amount of frequency we have here. So in second part we will see how we have written the script here and how we can create our own script from this. So let's get started with our scripting part here. Inside our class breathing, or the script breathing script, we have two variables named vertical curve and a horizontal curve of type animation curve. This is the basically the curve that you saw in the inspector area. So this variable will create a curve. Okay. Second, we need a few variables called amplitude, time elapsed, frequency, rotational amplitude, phase shift, horizontal amplitude, motion speed. And this is not required. I think it's I have not used this, so don't mention it. Okay. Next, in the update function, first thing we are going to do is just keep on calculate of time. So this variable here is always going to add here time dot delta time each frame, so it's just a time calculator here. Next, we are doing the position calculations here and its movement. So first we have a vector3 type variable named pose. It's having a new vector3, and in x position of the vector3 here, it's going to have horizontal curve dot evaluate and time elapsed. So this thing is just basically the animation curve here. An animation curve has a method named dot evaluate, and it takes the parameter time as the input. So if this is the graph here and this is the time graph, so at particular time we feed here, it will give us this position here and return it here. So as time elapsed is increasing every time, so it will just give on different points every frame. So that's why we will have a point in the form of sine wave motion like this. Okay. So and multiplying that with amplitude will just increase its amplitude, or the amount it goes up and down. So this thing will just calculate left and right of our gun, and increasing in horizontal amplitude will lead to increase in this thing here. Next, we have our vertical amplitude or vertical position here. So this is the same thing. We are using vertical curve here. As you can see here, vertical curve. We are using the same thing, dot evaluate, and this time we are feeding time elapsed into frequency here. So this will give us the particular position of the curve, and multiplied with the frequency, the time elapsed will increase or decrease. So that's why we can have different points much faster or much slower, and multiplying that amplitude will increase its up and down motion here. So after that, and we have our same z position, local position, so it will remain same. So that's why we have used transform dot local position dot z here. And then we are setting its local position, transform dot local position, to this vector here, pose. Okay. So this part will handle our up and down motion of our gun, left and right motion of our gun, of our breathing here. So this part here will control our rotational part. First we are creating a quaternion just basically to handle the rotations here. Instead of vector 3 for rotations we are using quaternions, and we are naming it variable rotation or ROT here, rot, and we are just setting its angle. So quaternion dot Euler, this is just basically the angle in x, y and z axis. So when the suppose this is the side view of the gun here. Here is the gun, here is the mag, and here is the clip or the trigger here. Okay, so when the time elapsed we want it to go like this here, up and down and rotation from side to side, so that it looks more realistic. So that's why we are just adding some rotation in the x-axis here by using the same thing here, vertical curve here, this thing, and we are just evaluating time elapsed into frequency, and we are just adding some value to have a shift in phase if we don't get a proper match with the up and down motion. Suppose this is the sine wave here, so at this position we are getting this. So if we are just doing a plus some phase shift here, so this position will become somewhere right here up to whatever phase shift value is there, so we will get this position. So when we are supposed to be here, plus phase will make us reach this point. Instead of this point we will get this point here. So that's the thing for phase, just for looking realism purpose, that's all. And we are multiplying it with the rotational amplitude here, so it will control the amount of up and down or the tilt rotation amount. And we don't want any rotation in y axis and don't want any rotation in z axis, so it's 0 here. And like same as the position here, we are just setting its transform dot local rotation to rot here. Okay, and that's all here. That's all for the script here. This will handle the time elapsed, it's for time. This thing is for position, this thing is for rotation here. And once you just write the script here, go back to Unity, go to your holder part here, and then just drag and drop your breathing script here and make a curve like this. Okay, somewhat similar like this. From in between 0 to 1 you will get, just double tap to get some points and then just try to form this curve, and then at last you will have this icon here. See this icon here, this settings type icon using gear type. You will just click and just tick loop, it will start looping, so you don't need to make the whole curve every time. And same for horizontal curve. I have set my amplitude to 0.1 and time elapsed will be calculated automatically. Frequency I have set to 0.2, rotational amplitude to 5, phase shift to 30, horizontal amplitude to 0.01 and motion speed to 0.01. That's all for this. And once you start the play button, you will see this type of motion here as you expected it to be, like slow. And you can even just tweak the settings here just to get your proper amount. Suppose if I just increase my rotational amplitude to 60, see how it is going. It will just go up and down much, and the rotation will be little much higher. And the horizontal amplitude, suppose I do 2, see it will go left right, see little bit. So that's why I just did it a very low amount. And frequency is the rate at which it will go up and down. Suppose I do it to 3, see it's going much faster. And the amplitude is the amount it will go up. Suppose I do 2, see how much higher it's going. I put it to 0.1 here. Okay, so these are my settings. You can just tweak them according to your weapon here, particular weapon here, and this will get you the simple breathing animation here. And hope you all have understood a little bit and how to use the animation curve system here and use it to have a particular type of motion you want. You can even change this curve and the breathing animation will follow that pattern only. So it's much helpful and very beneficial to use this type of scripts here. And hope this was very helpful, and whoever has asked for this tutorial, I hope is a little bit satisfied. And if you have any other doubts, please ask me to do a tutorial on that. It will be very helpful for me to find more content. That's all for today. Let's see you on another video. Have a great day. Bye.